morning, very briefly, I'll be introducing us to the Fresh Foundation and the Micheal Kayode Education Reforms Movement, and also give a brief history of the Fresh Foundation MKO essay competition. So the Fresh Foundation is the fundamental right to education support foundation. And the Fresh Foundation does not do its work alone. It does its work alongside the Micheal Kayode Education Reforms Movement. So we have the Fresh Foundation alongside the MKO Education Reforms Movement. And what's the vision of the Fresh Foundation and MKO? Our vision is to see that we are creating education opportunities for every child out there. We want to see that education is a fundamental right and it must be given to every child. That's what the Fresh Foundation MKO seeks to do. And we do this by going out there, going to the nooks and crannies and saying that the message of education is passed to every life. We are doing this by interacting with every stakeholder in education. We speak to the government, we speak to school heads, we speak to learners as well too. And the major benefit is that every one of these play their role in impacting the lives of these learners and impacting the lives of these children. And over the years, we've been able to do this by running out or carrying out various programs and projects as well, of which the essay competition is one of such programs. The Fresh Foundation was was conceived in 2018, but it was formally registered in 2020. And from 2020 up until now, the Fresh Foundation has continued with its vision and its mission of saying that education is given and quality education is given to each and every child out there. So the essay competition, as we know it, is a 3-in-1 project. The project begins right from January and runs up in May, which is today, the Children's Day celebration. The program starts in celebration of the World Book Day. World Book Day is usually celebrated on the 23rd of April every year. And Fresh Foundation has keyed into this right from 2021 in celebration of World Book Day. And what we started with was that we went out to school to give out notebooks to children, and we also spoke to them about the importance of books in education. It was beyond passion for us. It was a way of impacting life. And in 2021, our medium for celebrating the World Book Day was to go to schools. We had a unique template of our books, whereby the cover of the books were going to be inspiring for these children. On the back page of their books, they had things that were written that spoke to the children as addressing them as kings and queens. And it was important for us because we felt that children interact a lot with notebooks, and it was necessary that the message on the covers of this notebook, that's the front page and the back page, were things that influences them and inspires them to do better. And that was what we went out with, pushing out our notebook, which is still a project we continually do and also give as a form of reward when we have learners do excellently in our programs as well too. And then in the year 2022, the Fresh Foundation pushed further in celebration of the World Book Day, and that was when the essay competition was instituted. So the essay competition came right in 2022 in celebration of the World Book Day. And then at the first instant of the essay competition in 2022, the maiden edition, we had 3 schools who were partnering with us. That's the school who are within our reach. They participated in the essay competition, and it was beautiful. At the end of that competition, our rewards were targeted towards tuition of those learners. And then in that same year, as a build-up from the experience we had from the essay competition, the Fresh Foundation seek further to create another impact. Because why we engaged the children in writing the essay, we noticed certain key areas that we wanted the children to grow and develop in. And then the Fresh Foundation pushed further in that same year, in September 2022, to institute the MKO, that's the Micheal Kayode Readers Club. The Readers Club was instituted in line that we wanted to promote the reading culture in children. Mind you, the whole goal is that we improve communication. And if you know communication is reading, it is writing, it is speaking, and it is listening. And we wanted to cover all these grounds in our reach to the children in the celebration of the World Book Day. So the essay competition was covering the grounds for writing, and also helping the learners in certain way to do a bit of research and reading. And the Fresh Foundation pushed further to change the form of reading that we were finding in society. That it was common for children or learners to just read to pass exams, but we wanted to push further to see that they become passionate about reading. So we're pushing for reading for self-development. That's in the same vein as reading for values and reading for fun. So the Readers Club was instituted in September 2022, and this was pushed to our partnering schools within our institutions, whereby we had a readers pack that was given to these learners, and in that pack they had a book that was for fun, and then they had another book that they read for values as well. So when these learners read for fun and they read for value in their own way, they self-develop themselves. And that was the theme we pushed in 2022 for the essay competition and also the Readers Club project as well. And then in 2023, the essay competition came up again, and the Fresh Foundation celebrated that again. And with the coming of each year, we always look for a new challenge to address. And the challenge we noticed in 2023, which was last year, was that there was an issue of education funding. There was an issue that had to do with education funding, and this was not a one approach way to address it. So we decided to speak to parents in our celebration last year. And one of the things we spoke about was education investment, that parents and every stakeholder in education should be able to see education as an investment and invest in education. And we did this by targeting the heart of parents, especially to be focused on education savings, targeted education savings. And this was what the Fresh Foundation instituted. We were able to partner with two banking institutions, the United Bank for Africa, UBA, and Wema Bank. We partnered with them, and we came up with a scheme known as the 1,000 Naira monthly savings scheme, that a parent can take out 1,000 Naira and put into an account that is specifically for education purposes of the child. So you take 1,000 Naira and then you build a saving culture, and then you say, this is targeted for the education of my child, and you save that money. And then the Fresh Foundation was able to push that beyond savings to saying that that funds also can be invested, and you are doing an education investment for your child. You are raising this fund and then investing it into the learners of the child. And the Fresh Foundation was not leaving this parent to doing it alone. On that day, that's the May 27th last day, the Fresh Foundation officially took 16 learners into our capacity, that they were going to be receiving 1,000 Naira monthly savings for their education, and it will be up to the time that they get into the university. So we currently have 16 learners who the Fresh Foundation is funding 1,000 Naira monthly for their education purposes, and this money will be given to them at the point where they want to enter into the university. This message is being passed today to encourage parents who are here, to encourage teachers who are here, and school heads as well, that we can take this message back home. It's a message of education investment, it's the message of education savings, and it's the message of education funding, that our little bit can actually contribute to the education of these children. It was the message we preached last year. And then we move into this year's celebration, which we are putting to a close today. Like I mentioned, this is a three-in-one project that seeks to achieve the celebration of the World Book Day, the essay competition, and then which comes as a close with the Children's Day celebration, which we are having here today. Our message remains the same. We are not changing. We have agreed that we'll be sticking on those two things that we have raised, building a better communication culture for our children, and that's continuing the MKO Readers Club, and then also targeting for education investment for our learners as well too. So the Readers Club and the essay competition, the Readers Club is that platform where the impact of the essay competition continues, And then we want to push further what we have seen in these learners. We have seen that their communication skills need to be improved. They need to improve in their reading culture, their writing culture, their speaking culture, and their listening culture. And the Readers Club is that platform that houses all of this, which will be given to every learner out there. And then the Fresh Foundation is also continuing with its mission to seeing that education receives certain levels of funding, which we are doing as a 1,000 naira targeted savings for learners as well. Currently, we have 16 learners, and then we also adopt children into this program as well too, where we seek for sponsorship from them. So presently, we have a number, I think close to about 8 sponsors who are presently sponsoring a child for a 1,000 naira savings every month up until that child gets into the university. So this is our call out to every parent who is out there, every school head, and everyone who is passionate about education, that you join us in our course to see that education is painted in a good light, and then we'll create the opportunity for quality education for every child out there. So thank you very much.